I want to quickly show you how to use a Chef cookbook to easily deploy zEncrypt into your cloud infrastructure. Chef is an open source systems integration framework built specifically for automating the cloud. If you have a multi-node or certainly a big data environment, you'll want to use a deployment automation tool like Chef. It will make your life a whole lot easier. First, I'm going to give you an overview highlighting key components and sections of code for the zEncrypt Chef cookbook. Then, at the end of the video, I'll show you where to download the zEncrypt cookbook in its entirety. Let's look at the files in the zEncrypt cookbook. Attributes and default.rb define the default location for the storage directories. Contributing contains information on how to contribute to this open source project. License contains licensing information, and metadata.rb is a Ruby file with metadata about this cookbook. README file is self-explanatory, and next are the recipes in this cookbook, all coded in Ruby. Activate.rb is the recipe that activates the zEncrypt license and generates a random, strong passphrase. Cassandra.rb installs Cassandra from the DataStax RPM and Deb repositories. This is optional and can be added to your node if you're configuring zEncrypt with Cassandra. Config.dir.rb configures the storage directories for zEncrypt. Default.rb is the default recipe, and for our cookbook, it's used to call the zEncrypt recipe. zEncrypt.rb contains all the logic to download and install zEncrypt. Let's take a look at some of the components of the zEncrypt.rb code. The first section of the Ruby code is setting up both yum and apt to use the Gazang repository. Next, we download and import the Gazang GPG key, which we use to verify the authenticity of the Gazang packages in our repository. After this, we address DKMS, or Dynamic Kernel Module Support, which zEncrypt requires to dynamically compile the zEncrypt kernel module. Most distributions include the DKMS package. However, CentOS may need to have it pre-installed, and this part of the recipe takes care of it for you. Now that all the repos are set up, we will assemble the packages and install kernel headers, DKMS, EasyEncryptFS, and EasyEncrypt. Now let's look at the metadata.rb. You will find some boilerplate attributes, and the cookbook dependencies are defined, and the supported operating systems are named. Finally, default.rb in the zEncrypt cookbook contains a few lines of code simply pointing to the zEncrypt config.dirs and activate recipes, all used to complete the install of zEncrypt. The zEncrypt cookbook can be found at https://github.com/Gazang cookbooks. Contact Gazang to learn more about our Chef zEncrypt cookbook and how you can use Gazang to secure sensitive information in your cloud infrastructure.